How can anybody not like The Wicker Man, one of the greatest horror movies ever made? Shame on you. Yeah, as I was saying before, guys, I can't understand why there's some people who, out there who don't like The Wicker Man. Most people absolutely love this movie, and in my book, it's one of the greatest horror thriller movies ever made. Never get tired of watching this movie, The Wicker Man. Fantastic story, fantastic atmosphere. The ultimate in folk horror, made in 1973, and starring a stellar cast: Christopher Lee, Edward Woodward as the main protagonist, Britt Eklund. Oh yeah, fantastic movie. Yeah, absolutely never get tired of watching it. It really is, the ultimate in folk horror. Now, this edition here, this is the best edition. I mean, I've owned this movie in many forms over the years, but this edition has got to be the best I've ever had. So I'll just show you it just to give you an idea. So you've got 3 discs here, actually, guys. So you've got disc 1, which is the final cut, and various special features, interview with Christopher Lee, Robin Hardy, worshipping the Wicker Man, and many more. And then disc 2, you've got the UK theatrical cut, director's cut with audio commentary, the making of audio commentary, and then on disc 3 you've got the soundtrack. Yeah, so this is a fantastic edition, this, it really is. Yeah, when I first watched The Wicker Man, many years ago, like as a teenager, on our old black and white telly, I was instantly captivated by how good the movie was, and that, and it's one of Christopher Lee's greatest movies. And in fact, Christopher Lee speaks very highly of this himself, and that, I think he said, I think I read somewhere that this is his favourite movie. Yeah, but yeah, he's really on the money in this, playing Lord Summerisle and that, the main villain and that. I'll just show you the discs, guys. There you go. Yeah, fantastic edition, The Wicker Man. Yeah, if you just in case you're not familiar with the story, you've never seen it, I'll just give you a little bit of an outline. So first, I'll just read you the synopsis. Yeah, Britain's greatest horror. Yeah, you can say that again. 4 decades after its release in cinemas in 1973, the unique British cult classic, The Wicker Man, still holds an enduring fascination for audiences all over the world. Now, in this 40th anniversary collector's edition Blu Ray, the film is presented as the final cut, a version which has never before been restored and never before been seen in UK cinemas. Approved by director Robin Hardy, the final cut is the finest and most complete version of The Wicker Man possible. Featuring brand new extras and the soundtrack, this 40th anniversary edition is every Wicker Man fan's perfect ending to a much mythicised search for the most complete version of the film. Having left no stone unturned in the search for the original film materials, the ghosts have now been laid to rest, as we can finally and happily confirm that this is the final cut of The Wicker Man. So yeah, guys, if you haven't seen The Wicker Man, I highly recommend that you go out and get yourself a copy of this classic British movie from 1973. I had the book a couple of years ago about the making of The Wicker Man, and yeah, it was very interesting in that, yeah, it was really good in that. Yeah, so just to give you a bit more about the story and outline the story in case you're unfamiliar with it. It involves a police constable, I think it's Sergeant Howie, played by Edward Woodward, who goes to this remote island off the coast of Scotland to search for this apparently missing girl. And what he finds on the island is some real strange occurrences, and that, the village is like a little close-knit community, and the sort of led by this Lord Summerisle, played by Christopher Lee, who's sort of he seems to have some sort of dark secret and a very strong hold on the community, and that, and yeah, so Edward Woodward, he's Edward Woodward's policeman. He's a really very religious person, and that, and he's disgusted about the things what he sees on the island, and that, he sees people doing rituals and that, and dancing around singing these strange songs, and then some of the kids are behaving very strangely, and that, oh yeah, I mean, I don't want to go on too much about it in case you haven't seen the movie, yeah, but yeah, his policeman character encounters a lot of real weird idiosyncratic things on this island and that, and the mystery surrounding the girl going missing and that, you know, and Sergeant Howie like is determined to get to the bottom of it and that, you know. Edward Wood was really on the money playing this character Sergeant Howie and that, you know, yeah. And then you've got the you know, the folk songs, the weird folk songs and that, you know, what they sing and that, you know, yeah, that adds to the film's quality and that, you know, and the general mystique surrounding the an oddity surrounding the island itself and that, you know. But it's a very good movie, The Wicker Man, yeah. And of course, like the ending and that, you know, I don't want to give the ending away just in case you haven't seen it, but oh my god, what a jaw-dropping ending. Oh yeah, really memorable ending, yeah. But I say I don't want to go on too much about it and that, you know. But in case you haven't I can't even speak today. In case you haven't seen the movie, The Wicker Man, yeah. But as I say, this is a fantastic edition, guys. This, yeah, and I say it's my all-time favourite movie. And when you first see The Wicker Man and that, you know, oh, it looks absolutely awesome and that, you know. There he is, The Wicker Man, yeah. And from what I can gather, this is based on an actual ritual, what was sort of like performed, you know, a couple of centuries ago, and that, you know, involving sort of like you know, things like this, the Wicker Man and that, you know, yeah, all sorts of I mean, when you look into the history of folklore and that, you know, you can find some really idiosyncratic, strange customs and that, you know, and the Wicker Man certainly brings them out and that, you know, bucket loads and that, you know. And yeah, so it's like, as I say, like, you know, fine cast and that, you know, yeah, Edward Wood with Christopher Lee and that, you know, playing Lord Summerisle and that, you know, yeah, and oh yeah, and I say Edward Wood with Sergeant Howie, you know, trying to get to the bottom of the girl, the missing girl and that, you know. But you get this sense of, you know, as you get more and more into the film, you get this sort of like mounting sense of unease and that, you know, and very ominous feeling like there's something's not quite right in this community and that, you know. And you know, and also, and as I say, Edward Wood's character Sergeant Howie, the things he finds out, like, you know, the villagers, the way they behave, and he grows more and more determined to get to the bottom of what's happened to this girl and that, you know, the reason why he was summoned to the island to look for this missing little girl and that, you know, yeah. But yeah, if you haven't seen The Wicker Man, I highly recommend that you go out and get yourself a copy of this classic movie. And it works on so many levels as well. It's not just the horror elements, but it works on the thriller elements, the folklore elements, the mystique elements, the thriller elements, and it's sort of like, and the characters and that, you know, they're really sort of like, you know, you really get invested in the characters and that, you know. And this character, what Christopher Lee plays, Lord Summerisle, you know, he has the wig on and that, the black wig and that, you know, and he's very, you know, there's something really dark about him and that, you know, yeah. And he's sort of like, whenever he encounters Sergeant Howie, he's sort of dismissive and that, you know. He's sort of like, you know, he's sort of like trying to shake him off and that, you know, because he regards him as sort of like, well, he seems to give the impression that he wants them off the island and that, yeah. But as the story unravels and that, guys, oh yeah. But I don't want to go on too much about it. But suffice to say, you know, if you like a good horror thriller, this is a classic one, this, and it's the ultimate folk horror movie, The Wicker Man. It's one of my all-time favourite movies. It's right up there with Roger Moore's The Man Who Haunted Himself, you know, films like that, Christopher Lee's Dracula, films you can go to again and again and again. And by the way, this edition, the picture quality is absolutely pristine, yeah. So there you go, guys. That's my review of my one of my all-time favourites, horror thrillers, The Wicker Man. Yeah, one of the best British movies of the 70s and that, you know, made in 1973. And you know, it's yeah, a lot of history surrounding this movie and that, you know, yeah. And I like the very ordinariness of it as well. You got like the little, you know, you got the little community, you got the villages and that. At first, you wouldn't think you were watching a horror movie. The way it starts, you got all these like strange folk songs and that, you know, getting sung by the villagers and that, and you got the background music as well and that, you know. And some of the folk songs are quite catchy as well and that, you know, but they've got sinister undertones, if you know what I mean. Yeah. But I'll stop it there. I don't want to go on too much about it. Suffice to say, if you like a good horror thriller from the 1970s, a British one, this is your movie, guys, The Wicker Man, an absolute classic. And as I said at the commencement of this video, I just cannot understand why you get the odd few that don't like the movie and that, you know, yeah. Just look at them like, you know, you're flabbergasted, you don't like The Wicker Man, you know, yeah. But then again, you know, one man's meat and that, you know, but most people, most horror fans, the ones I know and that, you know, they love The Wicker Man, and I certainly do, yeah. Okay, guys, so that's me review of The Wicker Man. Do you like this movie? leave your comments down below. Yeah, yeah, I'd love to read them and that, you know. Yeah, talk about this movie forever and that, you know. It's such a good, well-made movie and that, you know. Yeah, it's an absolute classic, The Wicker Man. Yeah, the ultimate folk horror movie. Yeah, yeah. Okay, guys, well, that's it for now. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you all in the next video. Stay safe.